Today's dishes are going to be inspired by the American South, primarily from the state of Louisiana and Georgia. New Orleans and Savannah are my two favorites here in the American South. But the food, the way it is, I find a lot of similarity with the Southern food, Southern Italian food that I grew up with. Let me get started. This is my version of a sausage gravy, which I will serve with a unique chicken Milanese. So what we have in here is sausages that we have sauteed with some onion, a little bit of olive oil. Now, in order to make the sausage gravy is to add a little bit of flour. Why? Two things that we want to do with the flour. We want to cook the flour so that the flour itself picks up the flavor of everything that's in there. And as you see, as I add the flour, as I move it gently around, as it cooks, already creates a nice thickening. And you already see that the olive oil that we add in the bottom is starting to change color. Once this is completely dissipated, we no longer see any trace of the flour. The next thing that you want to do is to add a little bit of milk, because the milk is going to be exactly the body that will give us this wonderful, wonderful finish on this gravy that we're putting together. Now, stay tuned, because when I come back, I'm going to show you how to make my very own version of chicken Milanese, Southern style.
Cooking with Nick Stellino is made possible by Domino Foods, makers of C&H Sugar and Domino Sugar. The real way to do sweet.
Spicy, just right. One of the things that we want to do with our gravy at this point is to add a little bit of chopped basil. In this case, I wanted to make it fancier. I add the basil cut that's known as chiffonade. I do it to bring out a little bit of flavor and also to give it some wonderful color. Now, when you make this at home, if something should happen, for example, that you feel that your gravy is too thick, one of the tricks that I like to do is to add a little bit of milk as the gravy is simmering until it gets the consistency that you want. When we're dealing with gravy, as in the case of Southern gravies, a little bit thicker is not a problem. Let's take a look and see how to actually make the broccolini. What are broccolini? Broccolini are commonly known as Chinese broccoli or Italian broccoline, or Brooklyn. Brooklyn and broccolini in Italian almost sounds the same. And I remember when I was talking to my relatives who had come back from the United States, where they emigrated, they used to tell us, I live in a broccolina. And none of us would understand what that means, because we assumed they lived in a field full of broccoli. Little did we know that there was a neighborhood in New York called Brooklyn, but with the Sicilian accent, the dialect, and all, broccolina. Now, I want to show you how to do it. First and foremost, I want to add a little bit of red pepper flakes, because it makes this Sicilian. So we have extra light olive oil in the pan, super hot. The broccolini have been cut in pieces and they've been parboiled. At this point, all that you want to do is to just add it in the roast state like that. Make sure one thing for safety, extremely important. When you parboil the broccolini, before you add them to the hot oil, make absolutely sure there is no remnant water left, because the water, as soon as it hits the extra light olive oil, it will splash back and it would hurt you. Before we move them away, let's add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Let's quickly talk about the technique that's going to ensue. I'm moving them off from the high heat, and I'm going to take them on the stove here where the heat is down to a simmer. I used to do this in the restaurant, and it was another chef that taught me how to do this. And what happens over a long period of time, this broccolini, I'm going to reduce inside, because most of the water is going to come out, and they're going to become nice and crispy, and the flavor is going to be explosive. If you like garlic, right before you serve them, add some chopped garlic, some finely minced garlic, toss them a couple of times, and the flavor is going to be right there. So we're going to move this away. I'm going to do a switcheroo. Here I have another pan with extra light olive oil, nice and hot. And the next thing I want to show you is how to actually pound the chicken. The chicken is a chicken breast. We want to call this chicken fried steak. That's how they call it down south. In truth, to us Italian, this is a Milanese. Very simple to do. Wax paper in the bottom, wax paper on top. And if you had a bad day at work, this is a fantastic dish to make. Boom, boom, boom. You don't want to make it so super thin that you make scallopini. You just want to flatten it up to a certain point. What the paper does for you is two things. It prevents the chicken breast from slipping out, and at the same time, it retains a certain amount of control as you deliver the blows and making sure that you do not rip the meat of the chicken. Now, Before we get started with the next step, what I'm about to show you is extremely important because it's going to make your life very easy. Most people like to do this on plates. I don't, and I want to tell you why. I like for my chicken to go through the breading process in these containers. And the reason why I like to do it in these containers is because it retains everything perfectly well for you. I'll show you what I mean. Here is the breast that we have pounded. I'm going to add it right here. Before I turn it, I always like to put a little bit of salt on it and then a little bit of pepper. Using the tongue right in here, we flip it on the other side, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. You see the way, the technique that I use with the fingers going like this? It means absolutely nothing, but looks great on television. The next thing is something you're going to love. I have some extra breadcrumbs over here, and this is where most people make mistakes. When I was a little boy, I had a family whose boy was one of my good friends, and they used to invite me to their house for dinner all the time. And once they made the mistake to ask me, how did I make my Milanese, the signora that hosted the dinner? And I made the mistake of telling what I thought. And unfortunately, I thought I was helping her, telling her all that she'd done wrong and how much better my mom was. That was the last time I had dinner at their house. So what we're going to do now, we're going to add the breadcrumbs on top. You see I have this extra bit, and by adding it on top, you're basically ensuring with your fork that the coverage of the piece of chicken is complete. That's where most people make a mistake. Then as I lift it, we go to the other side, and using your fork, you cover it perfectly. This is a simple technique. Some people like to run it through it twice. I'm of the opinion that if you do it right the first time, that's all that you need to do. Now, let's take a look and see if the oil is hot enough. I take a little pinch of the breading and I put it right on it. You see the way in which it's bubbling? This oil is doing exactly what we want us to do. Technique that's very important. When I lay the chicken down, the one thing that I do, I lay it so that the tip is away from me. Why? A lot of people splash this right in here, and if you splash it, putting it from that side, when the chicken goes down, it could splash you back. Very hot oil, very painful. At this point, it's cooked enough on one side. When I move it to the other side, and this is what I love the most, all the flavors in there. We use Italian-style breadcrumbs, so the flavoring is fantastic. We're gonna let this cook for another few minutes until the chicken is cooked all the way through. Unlike meat, chicken, you never, ever want to have it medium rare. This is one of the things. I'm going to take one last step here with our gravy. I'm going to crank up the heat a little bit. The gravy is nice and thick, and this is exactly the way in which it's supposed to be done. Before we serve this, there's one last step that I want you to do, and that is once the chicken is ready, to let the chicken rest for just a couple of moments so that all the juices are perfectly distributed to the chicken on this piece of brown paper that will absorb some of the oil. So let me get that done, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. And now we are ready to assemble it all. Allow me for a moment to fall in love with this masterpiece that I did. Bellissimo, bellissimo, veramente. Io non lo so come faccio a cucinare così. For those of you that don't speak Italian, I was just paying myself a huge compliment, telling everybody how great this chicken is. The next thing is the broccolini. I want to show you what the broccolini look like. They are absolutely splendid. One of the things that you notice is that they have collapsed a great deal. And in the process of collapsing, one of the great things about this broccolini, you see it, is this crispy finish that they have in here. This is gold. Every time you bite into it, there's a nice crispiness to it. A little bit of salt that we added before is now sticking on the outside. If you're taking the option and you added some chopped garlic to this, it just takes it to the next level. So here we are. Now we're going to add them to our plate. And be rich with this. And if you really want to take it to the next level, one of the things that you can do is even sprinkle them with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. This is not really from the southern part of the United States. There's a lot of Italian in it, but I gotta tell you, nonetheless, it's beautiful. And the last thing that we're going to do is adding our fabulous gravy. What makes this gravy unique is the flavor of the sausages on top of it, together with the basil. Always have some extra on the side because people will ask it to you for. But this is quite simple, right to the point, full of flavor, a little mix of two techniques that I learned here in the United States and that I brought from home. And here it is, chicken Milanese, Southern style, with sausage gravy.